Hi, this is Gene from yournewleads.com, and today I want to talk to you about QR codes, specifically QR codes for business. We're going to look at the top 5 ways that QR codes can actually be used to help you make money with business. So there's a QR code. I'm sure you've seen it before. QR stands for Quick Response. A QR code is actually quite old. They first were created in about 1994. And they came to the U.S. more recently by way of Japan. They've been used in the Far East for many years, and they were really developed as a way to do marketing with cell phones and mobile phones. There are many types of QR codes, or more accurately, I should say, there are many sizes of QR codes. You can see the one on the left looks very blocky, and the one on the right is made up of a lot smaller little pieces, but they're both QR codes. They're both able to be scanned in with a cell phone, and essentially the difference is one is a website and one is a whole paragraph of text. QR codes can contain a lot of different types of data, but they can all be read by phones or other devices, but predominantly they're used for being read by phones. Aside from being links to websites, QR codes can also contain links to SMS messages. They can contain just plain text, as in the QR code on the right, which is basically a description of what QR codes are from Wikipedia. So all kinds of different information can be encoded. One of the things that you can do with QR codes to help make you money is, the most obvious one is to use them on the back of a business card. So as you can see here, we have a John Doe business card, and on the back of the business card is a QR code. So if somebody were to scan that QR code, they would be able to then get all the information about the person without having to type in any of the details manually. And so the odds are much greater that you will be added to somebody's phone address book if you actually have a QR code that contains your contact information on the back of the card. You can put it on the front of the card too. It's no reason it has to be on the back, but generally the front of the card will be people readable, and then on the back of the card you can actually use a QR code. So another use for QR codes is to be used on printed marketing materials. So essentially, you can redirect a customer to a website or a video or a contact form. Again, keeping in mind that more than likely this is going to be happening on their cell phone. So you need to be aware that wherever you redirect them is going to be cell phone friendly. But essentially, you can provide an augmented set of information about a particular product or item or service even by using QR codes and physical locations where you have your products to redirect people for more information. This is actually a great way to keep people in the store, because they can look up information about the product without having to leave the store, go home, get on their internet connection, and start doing comparison shopping. Here they can do it right on their phone, and if you provide the link, then you control essentially where they start off getting their information. Another good use of QR codes that is somewhat unusual, but it's actually very, very useful, is as on a store closed sign. So if you have a physical location and you've put up a sign that says the store is closed, there's no reason that the person should just shrug and have to leave. So if they got there too late, your location's closed, or maybe you're gone and you'll be back in 30 minutes, but they don't have the time to stick around, make sure you have a QR code on there that redirects them to your online website. Now, in some instances, they'll be able to actually make purchases off that website directly, and if not, if nothing else, you want to retain them since they already showed up at your store, and maybe provide a coupon for them to use when they come back, since the store is closed, and that could be a very unique barcode that you can provide a special coupon only to people that essentially showed up after the store closing happened, and then you're rewarding them by giving them an opportunity to save some money if they come back the next day when the store is open. Another good use of QR codes. Follow us on Twitter Book Plus. Obviously, I'm having a little fun here in combining different social networks. But essentially, any place that people gather where they're not moving. And that could be a line in a coffee shop while you're waiting in line to get your coffee. If there's a little sign that says, follow us on whatever, and it's just a quick scan, they're bored anyway. They have nothing better to do, so they might as well pull out their phone, snap a picture of the QR code, and then start following you or whatever action you direct. Same thing with where people are sitting. If you get your coffee and then you go back to the tables at the coffee shop or a restaurant or any other location where people actually spend time in the location, you should really have QR codes at every table that allow people to be able to sign up either to follow you on Facebook or Twitter or Google Circles or anything else, any other way for them to be able to connect back up with you. A variant of that is to use QR codes as coupons. This is actually a very new way to use QR codes, but essentially you can send out a digital coupon which contains the QR code either through email or maybe even through SMS directly to a telephone. And then when the customer uses that particular coupon, that coupon will get scanned in, and it contains much more information than simply, here's a coupon for 20% off. Since you sent the coupon to each person directly through email, the coupon can actually be encoded with who it was sent to, or essentially the contact information or some other unique identifier for each person. So you actually can get feedback through the real world by using QR coupons that are scanned and find out exactly who you sent the coupons to that actually showed up versus people that you sent coupons to that didn't show up. And it gives you a very good idea of who the customers are that are constantly coming to your place versus customers that are occasionally coming to your place. So there's the top 5 that I came up with for use for QR codes. A couple other quick things. Scanning QR codes. What do you generally scan with? Well, there's a few different alternatives. Red Laser from redlaser.com has a free app for Android, for iPhone, for I think even the Windows Mobile. They cover all the bases, and it's a decent app. It certainly does the job. It can scan virtually any type of QR code, whether it's a web address or a contact information or anything else that I've tried throwing at it. It's done a decent job scanning. The only real downside is it generally takes a few seconds for it to scan, and I know I'm complaining about seconds, not minutes here, so it's probably really not a big deal. There is a paid program for the iPhone called Crafter, spelled with a Q, and that scans barcodes or QR codes amazingly fast. It literally, as soon as the program runs, the camera is on, takes one snapshot, and then provides the contents of the QR code. Very, very fast. It also has a built-in QR code creator, so it sort of solves both issues at the same time. It is a paid program, but it's a fairly cheap program if you have an iPhone. Making QR codes, well, again, there is that program called Crafter for the iPhone and iPad. Really, honestly, the easiest thing to do, since these sites change all the time, is just to Google the word QR code maker or making QR codes, those 3 words. That should give you a handful of different sites that allow you to create QR codes. Essentially, making QR codes is a free process. Nobody should ever charge you for creating a QR code because it literally takes 10 seconds, maybe 30 seconds if there's a lot of information to be typed in. But everybody should be able to create their own QR codes, and if they don't want to, certainly they can hire somebody else to do it. But it's not like there's any secret to it. There are no tricks to it, and there are a lot of sites that allow you to do it for free. And there's also obviously commercial programs on phones and other devices that allow you to create them for if you want to pay a few bucks as well. I did want to bring up a counterpoint. A couple things to remember. There are times when QR codes are actually slower than just providing a short link. Just using shortlink.com as an example, I don't think that site actually exists. But the link just below that, the j.mp link, is an example of a short linking site. So essentially that URL will take you directly to an article called Death to the QR Code. I don't completely agree with the article. I think they're overestimating it, but essentially the QR code they're saying is past its prime. It's not very useful. One other thing to keep in mind as a counterpoint as well is that QR codes are 99% of the time scanned by mobile phones. So wherever you take the person, whether it's a URL, a link to a website, or whether it's a text message link or something else, keep in mind that more than likely they're going to go to that site from a mobile phone with a small screen. So you want to make sure that your site, whether it's a coupon site, whether it's a opt-in page for them to provide their contact information, whatever else it might be, it really needs to be optimized for a cell phone. Because otherwise they're going to see tiny little print with boxes that they can't actually click on, and then they're just simply going to leave that site and close their phone. So if you want to get some sort of a response from QR codes, you have to make sure that you keep in mind that they're more than likely going to be used from a cell phone. With those things in mind, QR codes are a great way to enhance and improve your ability to make money, both for physical brick and mortar businesses as well as for online businesses. It's a way to redirect people without having to force them to type in a lot of information. If you have any questions or you'd like some help, feel free to contact us at yournewleads.com, or just scan the QR code that you currently see on the screen. It's the same QR code we've been using throughout this presentation as the example QR code, and it just happens to be a QR code that will take you directly to the main page of our website. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.